Everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Before we get into the episode, we did get an email from the boy Mark. Thank you as always, man. And that's unversepodcast@gmail.com. And let's get into it. So he says he saw Tenet the other day. That's that Christopher Nolan movie with time travel or something like that. He said it was a wild ride. He saw it with his family. They said they were confused. But he says, thanks to watching Steins Gate and a bunch of other anime that involve time travel, I was kind of able to follow the point. So it's an anime, is what I'm guessing. That's what that sounds like. So his question is, what was a piece of media that you had a hard time understanding, but thanks to watching and playing other stuff, you could understand a little bit about it? That's a good question. I don't know about a specific thing, but there are definitely moments nowadays when I play games where like, oh, I know what's going to happen because I've played other games. It happens a lot for manga for me because I've read so much manga where I'm like, no, I've read the genre too much. I know what's coming up next.
Right, like you kind of see the common tropes that they're gonna throw out at you. I mean, I feel like anything to do with time travel because of Star Trek and BioShock, it kind of helps me see where they're gonna go. So like when I notice that they're gonna do some kind of time travel, I'm like, oh, okay, dude, there's only like three really good ways that you can actually make this successfully work. So I kind of just base it back off of those tropes, that worked in BioShock. Well, kind of worked in BioShock if you played the second part of the DLC. Star Trek obviously has done it a couple different ways. When I got to, I think this is also just more of like a Nomura thing, but when Remake had got to that point where like they're in that whole space, I don't want to give spoilers, but you know what I'm talking about, Julian, like towards the end of the game with
Oh
Sephiroth
yeah.
and Cloud, I was like, oh, okay, dude, I see where you're going with this now. This is totally a new realm of possibility with time travel, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. I know where you're gonna go. I know where the direction's going for Final Fantasy VII. Again, it definitely helps, but those are the ones that come to mind.
It's that anime bullshit.
Oh, dude, 100%. Also, I will say, there's a point in Lovecraft Country, like towards the end, where they do time travel,
Oh
and
my god.
oh, dude, no, it's pretty great. But like the way that Star Trek did time travel, they kind of do it very similarly, like as far as the principle goes. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. This makes a lot of sense. This is going to be successful, and it really was. So I would say again, just because of Star Trek primarily, like anytime I see time travel, I'm like, okay, this is how you're going to roll it.
When I played Skyrim for the first time, I was kind of brand new to those kind of games, at least to that scale, because I think my first Bethesda game like that was Fallout, but I rented it, and I really didn't know what to do, and I only rented it because it was the hype when it was out. After playing Skyrim for a very long time, I went back to Fallout 3 and New Vegas. It was a much more smoother ride because I understood like what would how to work the game, how to manage inventory, how to deal in combat, how to talk to the people, what to do in the game really. They all just became a smooth ride for me. And then when Fallout 4 came along, I was hyped. I understand these games. I want to play another one. So that's what I did, and I have not beaten Fallout 4 yet, but it's fun.
And then he also says, what's a game that you regret getting into late in the game? His example was he got into the Soul series by the time Bloodborne was out. I think my obvious answer is, of course, the Yakuza series. I wish I got into this a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Same.
Pat and Matt at Best Friends, when they started their LP for Zero, I was like, oh, I kind of want to check this out. Like the intro was pretty funny that they had animated, and then I didn't keep up with it, and the next thing I know, they had like 50 episodes out, and I'm like, oh, I don't got time to watch all this. So then I just never watched it. But then it was after watching iPatchful's video, I'm like, oh, okay, let me collect these games, and then finally really sitting down and playing Zero last year, I was like, gosh, why didn't I just play this a lot sooner?
Again, I would always see Yakuza, the PlayStation 2 box at stores, and I would just always wonder, like, what would this even be about? And I never really paid mind to it until recent years. And then now Yakuza is all the craze, the hype. It's nothing bad is really said about those games.
Since I finished Demon Souls recently on the PS5, I really wish I played it on the PS3, and I think I will eventually, just to kind of see what that's like. Is it really one for one? I think it is one for one for the most part. Demon Souls is great. Like running through it on the PS5 has been a really fun time. It's pretty fucking awesome. Definitely need to finish 3 and play 2 of Dark Souls. I've finished Dark Souls, and obviously Bloodborne is what really pulled me into that kind of genre of games. But there's also the rest that I really want to get into, which are like very similar. So like Nioh and Ghost of Tsushima, which I got Black Friday, and Sekiro. I feel like that genre of gaming just kind of like appeals to me a lot more in this day and age. I really want to get more into those kinds of games. But Yakuza, 100%. I mean, I've been doing my Yakuza run right now, and we've all said it, in the chat. Like, I wish we got into this game series sooner, but since we waited so long, now we have all of them to run through. We've got 7 games now.
Sekiro's gonna kick your ass. I'll tell you right now.
Ah, dude, I'm ready.
You also got the Surge, Lords of the Fallen. Oh, Mortal Shell too. Star Wars.
Well, which one? The latest one?
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, yeah. It's Souls-like for the most part. It's similar to. It's like the same tier as God of War, I would say, because there's no real stamina bar if I'm remembering correctly. There's a meter for your block, and then that could run out, and then you'll get stunned. I know that's there, but yeah, it's the same format as a Souls game.
I mean, and I've got a couple series on my game list that I have on Steam. So like Danganronpa, I do want to get into. I mean, Final Fantasy, I've played almost every single one.
I've heard of
But
Danganronpa.
yeah, it's I've seen
I've seen the
some
anime.
clips. I didn't even know there was an anime, but I've seen some clips, and it looks like it's up my alley. So I got them when they were on sale, which I probably shouldn't have because my backlog is already ridiculous as it is.
Yeah, buddy.
Then obviously there's The Witcher, and when Brendan gave me the first 2, I copped the third one when it was on sale on Steam. So I really do need to hop back into that because I've always seen Grant play The Witcher, and he showed me a lot of stuff over the years. And I saw Brendan play some of 2 a really long time ago, and I was just really, it felt like it was a game that I would enjoy a lot. So now that I have, the whole collection, I really do need to sit down and play them.
And yeah, another one for me is obviously I think No More Heroes. Talked about it a few times.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's so
I,
good.
I don't know when the first time I heard about it, but it was definitely like years after it came out, and even after hearing about it, I was just like, I should check it out. And then the trailer for 3, I was a little disappointed because it's a third game into a series I haven't even touched at that time, and I was like, I just kind of wanted a goddamn superhero. But after playing 1 and 2, I'm glad I played those games. And
Yeah, I remember when I first played it, Oscar helped me hack my Wii, way back in high school, and that was one of the games that was on there. So I played it because I remember one of our other friends, Fernando, was like, "Dude, you need to play this game. It's pretty awesome." I was like, "All right, dude, cool. I'll check it out." And it was great. I never played the second one. I'm actually running through the first one while I work out. So I think I just finished up Dr. Peace, and I'm really eager to play the second one. I know I saw you finish the game, Danny, so I'm like, okay, I know how it's gonna end out. And then I did cop Desperate Struggle as well.
yeah, man. So I guess I could go right into it. Thanks again, Mark, for the email. Again, unversepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, a few days ago on stream, I finished No More Heroes 2, and it's a great improvement from the first one. The combat feels more fluid. You could do more things to keep your combo going. They added a lot of quality of life stuff that makes the game, I think, better and more accessible. So instead of the free roam stuff that you do on your motorcycle, it's just the menu, and then you just zoom into the area, and then you just immediately stop or immediately start whatever your mission you're doing. That's pretty good. It looks a lot nicer with the graphic upgrades, and it's just the same wackiness that's in No More Heroes. That I was like, this is great. This is just us. There was some good surprises into the gameplay. The way they told the story this time around, it's more or less the same as the first one. They're more focused on it being an action game rather than a big emphasis on the story. Kind of like how, Devil May Cry kind of was back in the day. Great transitions. Yeah, still super big horny all the time in that game.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, voice acting on par, dialogue wacky as it is. There's a few things I'm disappointed with. I think one of the main ones is as much as I like the first game, there's some misses when it comes to the bosses that you fight. I think some of them are pretty meh as you're going through all 10 in the ranking list. And then here, it's more or less the same, like ratio wise. Like there's more bosses to fight here, but I feel like some of them are just pretty mad. Like there's really nothing going on with them. I think I said it last time. They're like the boss Bad Girl that you fight in No More Heroes 1. She has a great design and her voice actor just does a good job, but I think her combat's just boring and there's really nothing engaging there. And that happened more often than I'd liked in 2. But there's still plenty of good bosses, so that kind of makes up for that. Yeah, more cool. Like there's weapon switching during combat, so that's great. Instead of having to go back to your motel to pick up a different weapon, I stumbled upon a unique problem. There's like a glitch in the game, and it's only if you're playing on the Pro controller. And it's when you're riding your bike, you're just stuck in this glitch where you're accelerating the whole time and you can't move. And the only way you can move is if you're just hitting reverse the whole time. And
Oh wow.
yeah, it was weird.
That's
I was
great.
like, what's going on? I mean, it helped me cheese one of the bosses like for the first phase, so that helped me there. But eventually, there's another boss where you have to ride on this highway, and yeah, going in reverse took forever, and I didn't feel like grabbing my Joy Cons yet. Yeah, that was a weird glitch. So if you're gonna play, yeah, I would say just grab your Joy Cons. And if you can have them docked, or you could just freehand them and then do the Wii motions.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. But yeah, solid game. Can't wait for No More Heroes 3. I am going to be touching Travis Strikes Again. That's that. I thought that was the last game that came out, and that takes place between 1 and 2. And I know that's definitely a different game, gameplay wise, and I think pretty much everything else. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we got going on there. But yeah, no, just great series. Travis Touchdown, yeah, that's just us. That's the boy.
Dude, he needs to be in Smash already.
Yeah, he does need to be in Smash. He has a lot of moves where I was like, yeah, this is totally a Smash attack right here. This could be his final Smash. There's so much that you could do with him. But yeah, Adam, what's going on with Bug Snacks, man? You've been playing that on stream too.
Dude,
Snacks.
that game is okay. So I think I said it before, and if not, I'll say it now. When I first started playing Bugsnax, obviously I've been getting a lot of games for the PS5 because I really want to see what the haptic feedback is like for the controller, and just kind of seeing what the PS5 can actually do. But playing Bugsnax is just a different experience. Like it's kind of like Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Go, where you're like catching all these different kind of Bugsnax, and it seems like a children's game at first. And I've said this a lot,
Yeah.
but it's not a children's game. Like the way the story develops and the actual lore of the island where the Bugsnax are from, it's pretty
Oh my
crazy.
god.
You know, it actually gets the lore gets pretty deep in there. And the more that I find out while playing the game, I'm like, dude, this is wild. Like
I'm ready, man.
whoever thought this up really did like I don't know what he did or she did, but they
He
did
did some fucking drugs.
yeah, dude, they did some wild stuff because what the product came out to be is it's really good. Like this is a really, really good game. Like it's crafted really well. The story's insane. You know, the interactions you have with the NPCs are pretty fucking wild. You know, so it's just an all-around good time. I highly recommend this game for anybody who just kind of wants to casually play something, you know, and then let the story develop on its own while you're playing it and just kind of see how you feel afterwards because I can 100% guarantee that you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I really want to play it, man. That trailer just always tripped me out, and I'm like, I have to play this game.
Yeah, dude, when I first saw it, like I said, I was like, it didn't really appeal to me, you know, but then I was like, oh, it's free. I got the PS5. Why not? You know? And I am really glad I did because it is so much fun. There's so much going on. From what I've looked into the game, there's like 100 different species of bug snacks you can catch, and there's even some legendary ones. So I can't wait. I'm near the end game at this point. I think I've got maybe like another 4 or 5 hours, but I'm probably just gonna do some side quests, see if I can catch these legendaries, and be the Pokemon master of Bugsnax.
Yeah, I'll say, man, when I saw you playing it a little bit the other day, I was like, oh, dude, those Muppet hands that they have still trip me out because it's all how it's in first person and just the way they come up and like the detail that's on them. I'm like, oh man.
You know what's funny is I know I heard this, and I'm pretty sure this was on purpose. There's a point where, like, whenever you go to the main town, like that's on the island with all the other NPCs, there was a dialogue where someone was like, "Oh, hey, Muppet." I was like, "Dude, no way." They put this in the game, dude. They're like, "We're gonna make him look this way." It was pretty wild. But I will say the NPCs, they all have their own unique personality, which is great. But the way they interact with each other, so like before we hopped on and started doing this, I was just trying to catch like a couple bug snacks, and the more I walked around town to go to the other areas, I would just immediately see two different grumpuses. And they just start talking to each other. Like some of them would be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And like others would be like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you?" And it's so good. It's so great. It's literally, and I said this on stream, it's a novella, but with bug snacks, dude. It's great. It's
Hell
a fun
yeah.
time. If you want all that cheese man gossip with a whole bunch of Muppets, dude, this is your game. A
It's a
100%.
it's a Rosa de Guadalupe.
Dude, yes, yes.
They eat the food, they eat the bugs, and they turn into the food of the bugs.
Yeah, and so after you do like the limbs, you can do their horns, you can do the top of their head, and then finally, and I unlocked a trophy for this the last time I was streaming for it. Uh, you can do the whole body. You turn them into the snacks that they eat, like completely down to their torso, and it's like that's so cool looking. That's just a fun time. The tech that you get in the game is it's crazy. It's
Yeah, it's all
wild.
it's also like just catch. It's also just catch the bugs, like different. I'm sure you get like different equipment to different methods of how to catch the bugs because from my very small playthrough that I played, I realized there's a lot of to really catch some of the bugs. You really have to do something prior. Say you have to like drag them out with another bug, or you gotta attract them with a food source.
Like I said, whoever made this really like put some time into it to be like, no, this is how you're gonna catch this one. And some of them you have to go with like certain times of the day, which is I'm like, okay, well, what's that time of the day, And as you take pictures, which is like the Pokemon Snap reference, of like the area or like you see some kind of vegetables growing or fruit growing, it's like it'll tell you like, oh, you should probably come back here at nighttime to see this bug snacks. So again, it's just a fun time. I highly recommend this game.
Julian, man, I saw you've been going through that DLC for Doom Eternal. We saw Grant was playing it the other day. What's going on with that, man? Still hard as hell?
It's really hard, man. Like I think the first area I died. I was in there for 2 days. The
Oh
first area.
wow.
I just got to the second area. Yeah, it's really hard. Like I thought the ending to Doom Eternal, the base campaign for it, the base story mode, that was hard. I thought that was hard, but this is like really hard because we all hate the Marauders. We all know what they are. They put them the places where they spawn these the Marauders are pretty unfair, and it feels like you're gonna lose. Like, well, then again, I am playing on Ultra Violence. I think it's a difficulty above hard, and that's why I'm probably having a very stressful time playing it. This game does not fuck around. Yeah, it's pretty much still like you just kill the enemies in the most efficient way. They added a new like support perk, and they kind of help out, but I think what it is, you just got to be on point with your shooting and just know how to strategize amongst the demons that are out in the arenas that are levels. I should probably play Doom Eternal again, the campaign, because I was kind of lost a little bit on what they were talking about in the DLC. But so far, things are developing. I don't know where it's going to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll say, man, just watching Grant go through that opening part with all the demons, I'm like, yeah, this is crazy, man. It's intense right off the bat. That's great.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I recommend anyone who loves first-person shooters to play Doom. They really should, because we need more first-person shooter games like that.
I also checked out because it was on sale. I was like, oh, let me pick this up because I heard mixed things about it. Pirate Warriors 4 came out last year, and I heard they were doing different things with it. I'll check it out later. It's a Warriors game. How different can it be? Finally played it, and right now, I think I'm on the third main story for it. Right off the bat, I'll just say it skips a lot of stuff. So you start off in Alabasta, so you skip everything pre the Grand Line, which I thought sucked because I'm like, oh, you don't get to fight Mihawk, you don't get to see Buggy, and all that stuff that we get there. So yeah, check that out. And right off the bat, I was like, oh, this game is great. Graphically, it looks the best. I think what they're doing over there for these Muso games, they really know how to capture Oda's early art style. It fits here just as usual. And then from there, the craziest thing for me was they added the jump button. So now you can jump in this game. Traditionally, in the Pirate Warriors games, you couldn't jump. I don't know about other Muso games. I haven't really dwelled upon them too heavy like that.
It's usually not a mechanic in the Muso games.
No? Oh, okay. Yeah, and that really changes the gameplay up because they also, with the dash, it resets your combos. And, we have the stamina bar now on the dash, so that way you know how much you can do. But with that implemented with the jump attacks, you can really make your combos last a really long time. In the tutorial, it throws you right into Wano, and you're fighting Kaido and Big Mom in there. And they're just really showing you the works of what's going on. And they added a new thing where mid-bosses and the main bosses for the missions will have armor on their stamina, and you basically have to guard break them, so that way, you can dish out the real damage. And that also doubles for Logia users, like Smoker, for example, in Alabasta. Because that's pre-hockey, you can't really do anything, but once you do the guard break, he gets into the stun, and then you could really hit him. And I thought, I'm like, okay, that's a clever way to do it. I don't remember how it was in the other games. I think you just had to wait until they were done using their Logia forms. And in the tutorial, you play as Luffy, of course, and they just give you Snake Man to mess with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was really fun to play. It feels really fast. And going along with the jump and the cancels, yeah, you could just keep going for a really long time. After getting gear second, it's a thing you have to unlock and equip. So instead of just having just your normal super, right, once you fill up your meter, you now have 4 slots. It does like the anime game thing where like, oh, hold L, what is it in the game? Hold R1 and then hit any of the other face buttons on the controller, and that'll do whatever you have equipped to it. And then so you have to do that to equip gear second, and man, yeah, when you equip it, you feel like you're in gear second. It feels really great. Yeah, so far I think it's a solid game. I've heard that people don't like the music as much as they did in 3, and I thought I can't really. I like the music in 3. And this one just sounds more or less the same, so I can see where they're coming from with that. But I think overall gameplay is great. I will say that just the way they handle certain scenes for the cutscenes is not the best. They do shake things around for a gameplay perspective for how the story plays out per arc, which it's very minor stuff, so it's not too bad. But if it's your first time into a One Piece series, like, yeah, I would just read or watch it first and then hop into the games, because it doesn't capture the intense moments that you get in the manga.
I would say maybe start with Pirate Warriors 3.
Yeah, I think 3 is a good one too, because 1 more or less follows the base story, 2 does its own thing, and then 3, from what I played up to Thriller Bark, it was all pretty spot on. And yeah, and that goes all the way up to Dressrosa. So yeah, definitely start with 3 and then hop into
hmm
4.
I think Dressrosa does something a little differently. I never finished it, but I know I got to Dressrosa. But Punk Hazard was one for one.
Yeah, I think Dressrosa was different because when they were making the game, they were I think halfway into the arc for the manga, and it's the same thing here in 4. That the Wano arc for this game is a little different. It's like its own story, I guess, which makes sense because we're still on the climax of where it's at in the manga. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I can't wait to get through it more. Yeah. And of course, the only downside is it's a Muso game. So, you have to do all those missions that you do on those maps. And it's like, I just want to get to the boss and fight the boss. All right. Well, we mentioned it earlier, man. Yakuza. It's a series we're all really enjoying. Adam, it's your first time in it. I think you said you were in chapter 3 or 4 right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in chapter 4 now, so it's the second chapter
Yeah.
with Majima. Dude, he's the boy, man. I was really liking Kiryu the first 2 chapters, but after seeing the setup for Majima in chapter 3, and then what I'm about to go into in chapter 4, I don't know, man. I think he's taking the cake for me. I think he's my favorite at this point. But again, I'm only so far into the game. But I'm liking his playstyle a lot more. Like I like Kiryu's brawler. I like his rush mode a lot. I don't really use the other one where you have to like pick up the environment. But Majima's Slugger, dude, and his Thug, my guy. Like when you first use him in battle, he goes, if you press square, square, triangle, you poke him in the eye. Like, what kind of dude? That's street fighting right there. That's the shit that I've been waiting for in a game. Like, dude, I'm gonna fight dirty because I'm trying to win. You know what I mean? So when I saw this, like, I really like you so much more. The Kiryu's cool, but you're so much cooler.
Yeah, dude, honestly it's the same thing for me. Like I pretty much knew how Kiryu was based on stuff I've seen already before I touched Zero. And then yeah, just getting into Majima, I really like his playstyle more. It's more fluid, and just the way it's presented on screen I think feels better. It's more exaggerated. I guess is the biggest part for it.
It
And
feels way more delinquent. Like when I
that
got
too,
the
yeah.
slugger thing and it was like infinite for the bad, I'm like, dude, you are just the epitome of delinquents right now, and I love it. I am all for it. Cool story, bro. Dude, his dialogue is so good too. Like I think just the dialogue in general of Yakuza is pretty great. And because of the Japanese that I know that the translation isn't like completely one for one. There's like some stuff thrown in there. But the things I can pick up on, I'm like, oh, okay. This dialogue already is written phenomenally well. And again, I wish I got into it sooner. I really do.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I think Majima's side for Zero is the best. Some people do say like this is his game versus Kiryu's. I mean, like the Kiryu stuff is good too because when I started Kiwami, there was a lot of stuff there where I was like, oh, okay, this is coming directly off of Zero. So that's good. If you're starting for the series for the first time, you understand a little bit more when you play the first game. But yeah, no, all this like you haven't gotten to like the crazy stuff yet. Like where you're at right now, from what you told me earlier, just play a little bit more until you hit that next cutscene, and that's where it really starts picking up on Majima's side, and just really fun stuff, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been playing it before bed these last couple days, and it's so much fun. And the side stories that you have are pretty great too. Like who would have thought these big thugs would come and help out, little little Timmy over here.
Definitely invest in the abilities.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So when I get like a whole grip of money, I start putting into abilities mainly because I hate Mr. Shakedown, and I use
Oh,
and like
dude.
I've been stocking up on my like HP items because I know
Uh-huh.
when I see him and when he has a lot of money, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna try and beat you and use all of my items just so I can spend them all back for like 2 mil, and then end up having like 10 mil left over. But yeah, I've just been putting every time I get 5 mil, I just put it all to abilities.
And then yeah, on me, I'm playing Kiwami. I'm finally back on there. I took a little break from that game. I just don't want to get burned out from the series, right? Because there's, like we said earlier, there's 7 mainline games to play. But yeah, I'm back on it. I haven't progressed the story much because I've just been doing a lot of side missions. because I was doing the cabaret stuff, which is a great time. And then just in that little, like, there's just certain corners on the map where just boom, you get hit with side quests like back to back. And like I think I've done like 8 already since I started playing it again, and it's pretty 50-50 I think for most of those. Like I think in Zero there's some really great ones, there's some good ones, and some that are just really short and meh, like they're just there to be there. Nothing too deep in there, but yeah, good stuff. There's new mechanics in there that can change it up for me. That's good. So when you're exploring the map, of course you're gonna hit side quests, you're gonna meet characters, and there's dialogue and people you meet that you'll know if you play Zero right off the bat, and you're like, oh, it's cool to see these characters again, or just to hear these lines reference Zero again, because there is a pretty sizable time skip between Zero and Kiwami. And I think once I beat the game, I'm gonna backtrack and check out, try to find some videos on it, comparing it to the original Yakuza 1, because I think with this coming out after Zero, they've probably added stuff in there that wasn't in the original game, just to get that extra, like, oh, I just played Zero and this is in here, this is cool type of deal. And plus, I think it's cool that games can do that, so that way there's like no real loose ends, I guess you could say, or like just minor plot holes of like, well, wait, they mentioned this in the prequel, but sometimes it doesn't always hit with the first game. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how much new content is in Kiwami versus the first game, and if I should hop back into the first game and actually play that. So I'll be streaming Yakuza on Fridays, because it's Friday night, guys. Come on.
100%.
But yeah, I'm doing it pretty casual, kind of like Adam, just playing a little bit at a time here and there. I think that's the best way to play. Because there's just so much to do. Like in Zero, there's 100 side stories, right? 50 for Majima, 50 for Kiryu, and then in Kiwami there's just 78, and that's all for Kiryu. So I'm like, oh geez, that's a lot. There's really not much news that I saw from this week. Things are just kind of slow. This was the other day. Sadly, the website for Killzone is down. So there's no longer access for that. Yeah, Killzone.com is gone. I mean, the last game was what was it called? Shadowfall, I think. The launch title on PS4.
Yeah, it was Shadowfall.
Yeah, and that was the last game. The Vita game Mercenaries, I think that came out the same time as Shadowfall. But they said, don't worry, those servers are still up for multiplayer. And that is true, especially for Mercenaries. We thought they were shut down last year, but they're still up. And that sucks, man, because it's a whole generation, just no new game. Because I don't think there's really no first-person IPs that Sony has that's still going on besides that, right? Like, there was no Resistance at all anywhere. You have Uncharted and Last of Us, and those are the third-person, story-heavy games, but I would like to see more first-person shooters from Sony.
I really did like Shadowfall when that came out.
Yeah, I grabbed it up a while back. I haven't touched it. I probably should see what's going on with it. And speaking of PS5 here, there was this third-party company that was going to make custom PlayStation 5s to make them look like PS2s. So it was going to be an all-black console, and then it was going to have, the classic logo with the colors on there, and then the controller was going to be all black. It looked really cool. It was going to be a limited number. They said 304 PS5s and then 500 controllers. And, there's not going to be a warranty on them because they do have to mod the units that they do have. And so pre-orders went up, but the website wasn't the best. People were able to purchase it but no confirmation and a bunch of other stuff, and they promised that they were going to fix it and just get ready for tomorrow for an update on it. But then hours later they said they ended up canceling all the orders, and they're not going to make the PS2 theme anymore because I guess people were sending threats, and they were credible threats. So that sucks to hear, man.
That is unfortunate, because they did look really slick. But again, with that many pieces, like it's gonna be a madhouse. I mean, it's been a madhouse for next gen consoles for quite a while, not just the PS5s, but the Xbox as well. So I honestly, when I saw that, I didn't get my hopes up too high. It would have been nice to cop a controller like that, like the PlayStation Classic controller I have for my PS4.
Hmm.
But again, with the way things are right now with production and all that, I'm like, it's probably not going to happen. I would rather wait for something official from PlayStation where they're like, hey, we're going to do this kind of style, and obviously it wouldn't be a mod, so then if it broke down, I could go and send it back in. But that is unfortunate to see.
Yeah, really sucks. And yeah, I'm still waiting on Sony because I mentioned it before. They said a while back that customizing the PS5 is going to be better than how it was on PS4. And I was trying to think of what that meant, but then when we got the video of them breaking down what you can do with the console and that the fact that the white pieces can just come off fairly easily, I thought, oh, that's what they're going to do then. They're going to be able to take those off. They're going to sell basically like faceplates for them, and then we could just go from there. And then on the actual controller itself, the black part can come off as well. So I figured that they would try to do something with that too. But yeah, there just hasn't been anything for it. And I think that's just mainly the rate of production is really slow. A lot of people still can't pick them up. They said they're planning to sell a lot more this year, and that might have to tie in with them saying that they're going to stop making PS4s. The only model that they're going to make is the Slim for the base model. So, which is crazy because we're not even a full year in a PS5, and they're going to stop making PS4s when they stopped making PS3s like what 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, well, I feel like with that, their idea is that they're gonna make a lot more PS5s this year. They're gonna make a
Yeah,
much more available, to the normal consumer, which I think is fine. It's great. Like obviously the market is out there, people are gonna buy them, besides the scalpers, but it's just a supply and demand type deal.
I think they're just gonna try to catch up on PS5 production by shutting those down, and I can imagine that they would still make PS4s once things can get better.
Yeah, I feel like right now it's just gonna be the supply to fill the demand, and then once things
Hmm.
kind of like mediate themselves, then they'll be like, oh, we're gonna keep making these because obviously not everyone's gonna be able to afford the next gen. Even though relatively this is that much more expensive than when the PS3 first came out, because I think the PS4 was
Oh dang,
cheaper than the PS3.
Oh yeah,
what was it, like 600?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
600 PS3.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be much more affordable for folks, especially once production really like hits the high notes that it needs to.
I mean, and then there's like I said, there's really nothing else video game wise other than we got trailers. Season 3 for Sam Show is out or is coming out. It's 4 characters. That's cool. We actually played it the first time with you guys not that long
Yeah,
ago, and I like the gameplay. It's a fun game.
yeah, me too. It was very much a game where it's I could see it being very tense competitively because like a few hits and you're dead. Yeah, and I've never really like I played Samurai Showdown at an arcade, but it was brand new to it, so that was my first experience with it. But then I played the new one, and that was fun. I actually enjoyed it. You gotta download the For Honor guy.
Yeah, yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Like I grew up playing in arcades, King of Fighters, Tekken, Street Fighter, like that was my childhood of playing games in arcades for fighting games,
Mhm.
and I know I played Sam Show a long time ago. And to play it again with the remastered version, it's just phenomenal. It really it brings the old school back to new school. You know what I mean? Like it did it in a way that's so
Yeah.
much better than the remaster of the Street Fighter collection. Not to say that it wasn't
Uh oh.
good when they did it
Mhm.
out, but it feels a lot better, and I feel like they worked on this and they really gave it the tender love and care that it needed, and they did a phenomenal job.
Agreed. Got. I was thinking about it the other day. Those DLCs, those trailers looked really good for the SNK games.
I feel like
Yeah.
SNK has always had a really good livelihood of fighting games. Like no matter what, they've always dished out some really good fighting games. You know, like King of Fighters, Capcom vs SNK, Sam Show, Rival Schools. Like they've always had something really good to dish out. And then I think even Tatsunoko vs. Capcom had a lot of SNK characters too, which that game played phenomenally. I wish we could see a second one, but who knows?
They should just like re-release the first one
God,
for
it
like
was so
on
good.
consoles. Yeah, they really should. I played that one. I'll tell you that. I played it. Why? Because I had Frank West in it. That's why.
Oh, it was so good, dude. He was such a good
Yeah.
character.
But yeah, speaking of SNK, along with that reveal for the new season for Sam Show, we did get a first glimpse at KOF 15. Looks solid.
Dude, it looks so
Oh,
good.
solid. But we're gonna get another trailer this week too, as well. Like a new.
Yeah,
one.
they
Like,
said
probably
stay
gameplay.
tuned. We're gonna get a more in-depth look at the game, I guess.
Dude, because 14, I don't know if you guys played 14 at all. I copped it when it was
I
dirt
played 14.
cheap on sale for PSN a really long time ago. And again, like I just said, I grew up on King of Fighters, and to see it play in 14, I think I also played at Anime Expo one year when it was before it was released, and wow, it plays really well. It looks really clean, and to see what 15's doing, even better. Like it took all the aspects of 14, which what made it like revolutionary for that series, and just made it beautiful. Just a good little.
Yeah, 14 was fun. Those. Let me tell you, man, the inputs for those moves, dude, are pretty complicated. I won't lie.
Oh, dude, yeah, but it looked so good. It felt so right, and I mean, the roster alone was huge.
Yeah, that was a huge roster. I won't
It,
lie.
it like had almost, I think it did have like nearly every single King of Fighters character in that game, and that's what really made me, want to grab it when it was on sale. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna get a King of Fighters like this anytime soon. Maybe 15 will do the same, maybe it won't. That's kind of the thing I hope for with fighting games. It's like, are you gonna keep the same roster, add more, or what? Because when you make it that big, it's like Street Fighter 4. Like when you get to Ultra Street Fighter 4, like you kind of hope that the next one is going to be just as big.
But with this game, it looks like it's gonna be a better version of 14. And I played 14, and I was just confused, but I still enjoyed it. I was confused playing it a little. I was like, I'm like, all right, I dropped it. I have it, by the way, just in case y'all want to play it.
It's so much fun. I think I have it downloaded on my PS4.
Well, speaking of 14, they also announced the Ultimate Edition will be releasing soon as well. And that's just basically all the DLC. And there's like a few new updates for the game as well.
Hell
I
yeah.
saw that. I'm really excited for KOF 202 though. That remake of that, or the remake of that.
Yeah, so they're porting KOF 2002 Ultimate Match. I think it's coming. It's coming to PS4, Xbone, and I think on Steam. I don't remember.
That's going to be so good. That was a really good one.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the game that has the most characters. I think they said that in the trailer, with a whopping total of 68 playable characters.
Damn. God damn.
Yeah.
I think they added a new character too. Like they
they said that there's
for an old game, right? Is that what that was?
It's they have an exclusive character for that game. Yeah.
I feel like besides Smash, like King of Fighters just has a huge roster that you can choose from. I mean, and obviously the way the game plays is like you have 3 for team, so you have so much more availability of the things that you can do. I mean, obviously besides MVC too, but that's the game I can only hope will ever come back remastered.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Hopefully that day will come. Hopefully.
I hope so, dude.
Yeah, those trailers for KOF SNK things were really good. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I was never a big KOF fan, but those games always caught my eye. And I do want to check out more fighting games, so I think KOF 15 might be the one, or this 2002 one.
We'll play SNK Heroines, dude. I got you guys.
Oh, of course, yeah. I need to hop on that.
100%.
I got you guys. I got you.
Onto some anime stuff going on here. I think is it last? I think it's last year. Pretty sure marked the 30th anniversary for Slam Dunk. That is, of course, Takahito Ino, his manga about basketball. One of the most popular mangas in Japan. Period. Like that's always been in the top 10 every time I've seen a list, which is great because I really like that series. It's a really good time. If you're a big basketball fan, it's great. I mean, the art's fantastic, and even if you're not a fan of the sport, you'll get really engaged with the characters and the passion that they show off. Highly recommend if nobody's checked it out yet. And with that said, they announced, Eno himself on Twitter announced the other day that we're going to be getting a movie for the series, and that's great. We don't know if it's live action or if it's animated. I would prefer animated, I think, because they could probably just do some. They'll probably do some weird things with live action, probably with like CG and stuff. Even though it's a manga about sports, it's not as sports anime esque as you would think, like how Kuroko no Basket or Captain Tsubasa and all those wacky sports series that are out there. It's pretty faithful to the actual sport. I mean, Takahito, he's a huge fan of that game to the point where he coaches an actual team in Japan. I think
That's cool.
I forget what it is. I think it's like middle school or high school basketball. He's the coach for them. And yeah, that is pretty cool. I like it when mangas can get really deep like that. So I can't wait.
That's how you know they did their homework, but also they have that experience to do that with. So
Oh yeah, of course.
the content's always just that much more.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of his backstory, but I want to say he probably played basketball in high school. So that's really cool, man. We haven't really seen anything for Slam Dunk in a long time, so I really can't wait for that. If I'm gonna guess, probably next year that'll come out, or maybe like at the end of this year. There was no trailer or anything. It was just a GIF of drawing the logo for Slam Dunk. And then we got a trailer for the second Sailor Moon movie coming out in February. It's just Eternal 2, right? Is that what they're just calling it?
Yeah, so what they're doing, from what I know, is that they're splitting the Dream arc, which is season 4 of Sailor Moon, into two parts, which I think is probably the best way to do it. Um, and the first part aired just a few days ago in Japan on the 8th, and I know that they had a live stream. I didn't tune into it because I forgot, but they had a live stream based like some of the voice actors coming out. Um, and we have the second part coming in next month, I think either on the 11th or the 14th, and that was just announced in September. So I think the turnout for the first part was pretty solid. There obviously a lot of people were more hyped for it because the animation is a lot more different from Crystal, even though I think some of the same animators who worked on Crystal are also working on this. It's just it's less boxy, it's more of the 90s style anime that they did a long time ago. But yeah, I haven't seen any news about localization or any other area getting the film. I did see something on Twitter that someone said that it was going to come up on Netflix, but I haven't seen any confirmations for it yet.
I mean, isn't Sailor Moon already on Netflix?
Yeah, so I think they have the 90s anime, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked Netflix for it yet. I know Hulu does have all 5 seasons of the 90s anime, and that's where I rewatched it last year. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hulu does get, the films at all, because I mean Netflix has been making moves with all their animation that they have on there.
I mean,
Yeah,
why not, right? If they
it,
already have it.
exactly. I mean, I just really want to see this movie already. Like from the trailers I've seen, it looks really good, and from the trailer I've seen for part two that just dropped a few days ago as well, it just looks solid. I mean, it looks like, and I need to go and rewatch. I need to go and watch Crystal to see how true it is to the manga, because I've been told that it's essentially one for one. You don't have any of the filler that you get from the 90s anime, which is really, it helps a lot. But when you look at it, face to face with the manga is definitely 100% better. So I just really need to see how that plays out. But I mean, I've said it before in the chat. Like part four, definitely my favorite arc. Besides the second one where you get the intro with Chibiusa. So I really want to see how well this film does. I'm sure it's going to do phenomenally well because it is Sailor Moon. But I'm just eager to see localization, and we do have part two coming just next month.
Yeah, I think that's crazy to me how close together the releases are.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere too. That's the thing is that I think they were talking about the Eternal movie for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, hey, we're not gonna do we're not gonna do the anime series for it, but we're gonna do a movie for it instead. And I thought that's a lot better. That's probably the better approach, because
Uh,
of the way the content goes. But
Yeah,
as far as like my understanding was that they were just gonna do it all in one movie, and I go, okay, that could be a really long movie, and you could do it, maybe like 2.5, 3 hours. It can easily be done. But in September, when they announced there was a part two, I was like, okay, that's way better. You can saturate the manga, uh, you know, aspects of it really, really well, and still give the same deliverance that you're keeping to with the source material.
is this the last thing of Sailor Moon ever? Like,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
gonna be the
no.
ending?
So there's another arc which I've said before in the chat. I know Danny, you agree with me too. There is another arc after this, which I feel it's not entirely necessary. I feel like Sailor Moon could have ended with this arc alone because of the way that it does end. But there is another arc where they like bring in a whole bunch of different sailor soldiers from like here's like a different galaxy and things of that nature. So it kind of ties in. We're like, okay, that makes sense. But I feel like with this arc currently that they're putting into a movie, this could totally end that way, and that's perfectly fine. There is a lot more fan service for the last arc, which I think is why a lot of people like it a lot more. Um, but yeah, it gets pretty wild. Um, but I think with this one, it's definitely a good place to stop. I have voiced my concerns in the chat. Like, I hope that if they do one for the last arc, that they do it right. They don't butcher it at all because it is an arc that a lot of people hold near and dear to themselves. Not just because of the fan service, because of the content that's in there, like from the way the 90s anime did it, even though it's immensely different from the manga. But if they stick to the manga, I think it'll do a lot better than the 90s anime did it.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know I probably should have been paying attention in the chats before, but I never really asked if this was the end. You know,
Yeah, no, it should be. It should be.
it should be.
yeah. I mean, I said it in our review for Sailor Moon, but the final arc it does the typical route where it's like, okay, let's show everything we can that was missed out, and then let's get like the biggest bad ever. You have to bump the scale up to maximum.
You just get Broly, dude. You just get Broly in the
Oh,
last
Yeah,
arc. You literally
that's
just
funny.
get Broly. And it's nice. It's cool to see because some of the things that she does, it's like, wow, that's like Sailor Moon already had gotten dark in certain arcs, like where you get Sailor Saturn and her background, and like some more of the outer Sailor soldiers, but it wasn't as dark as what she does here. But it's like you didn't have to do it, like it was cool, but it wasn't necessary.
yeah, and I mean, there's really nothing wrong with the final arc. But I think just the way this arc, the Dead Moon Circus, the way it ties up a lot of stuff at the very end, and where we see like the way we have our characters get, like what they go through in the arc, is really a nice way for the series to just end right there. And I think it should just end here. I'm sure there's plenty of fans for the last arc, but I don't know, like the fact that they're doing this arc as a movie, to me that sounds like that's the end, because like another movie that also came out at this, I think it was the same day as this one, was Gintama, the final, right? And they're doing their last arc as a movie. So there's nothing after what happens in the movie, but if there was, I wouldn't imagine them doing it, for a second film.
Right, and it's just one of those that, like I said, there's a lot of fans for the last arc, for a lot of different reasons, and I totally see them. I feel like story wise for Sailor Moon, like if you want to end it off on a note that I felt very appropriate, this is the way to go. Just leave it at the dream arc. This next arc is fine. It's fun, but it's unnecessary.
I got the mangas right here, man. Does it end at volume 12, by the way?
Uh, I have
It
no idea.
should, yeah.
Okay, cool. I will jump on this train too.
Yeah, dude. I will tell you that I think the third arc. Yeah, it is a third arc with the outer Sailor soldiers with like Saturn. Yeah, it does get really dark at some point.
Like they're very skinny, but it's just how they're drawn. But it's actually really nice at the same time.
Yeah,
now that
it's
I'm
very
looking at
of the era, the art
Yeah.
style.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Whoa, what's going on in this final book? Oh my gosh. All I saw was like a dreamscape, and then powers, and then more dreamscapes, and then two girls fighting, and then self-contemplation, Galaxia.
Oh, dude, yeah, you got it all then. You got it all then. That's the last arc right there
All right, cool.
with Galaxia. Yeah, the other thing to note too is that I think this is the first Sailor Moon movie since the last one, which was I think in like maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. No, I'm looking up right now. So it's going to be in the late 90s, which was a really good movie. That was the one with Chibiusa, which was another kind of dreamscape movie.
Oh shit.
So this is going to be really interesting. From what I've heard and what I've seen online since Friday, it's done really, really well.
Oh.
So again, I wouldn't be surprised if they did do one for the final arc, but again, I've said my piece. Please let me know how you feel as you go through it.
Yeah, I've been I was actually looking at One Piece today too as well. I'm like, I really should read this for you guys.
Dude, you'll have a good time. You will have
You should
such
read
a
it
good
for
time.
yourself as well, Julian. It's
Yeah.
No, I know. I was gonna say that too, but like, more importantly, I should read it for myself. But mostly for you guys though. At the same time,
Oh, dude, you see my room, man. You
I've seen your room. Yes, I have.
you know how it is.
Yeah. He can't get enough of that sailor stuff,
Dude,
man.
I can't, man. I'm waiting to see localization for this movie because it just looks so good. Like from the work they put into it, it looks really, really good.
yeah. I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to watching those films.
Oh, dude, the next time you guys come out here, we're gonna go through all of them.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the other movies either.
Oh, dude,
Okay.
I will tell you though, the first one actually has like it's like a real movie. It's like it's got all the aspects that it needs and the concepts that it needs to be a real film. And the other two are just really long anime episodes, which are still great in its own way. But it's like the first
Okay.
one has like an actual structure that it follows. And like a real villain, not just I'm gonna be evil and
Right. Yeah. yeah.
I'm evil.
it doesn't. The first one stays away from the anime tropes of like anime movies. The other two, they definitely stay in that world, but they're still really good.
Nice. So cool, man. Looking forward to watching those, and we'll get back to you guys as soon as we are able to watch it. And mentioned One Piece earlier, and it sort of popped in the news recently. Mainly on it's on Twitter, and it is the company that owns Shonen Jump, and that is Shueisha. They own a lot of magazines under the Jump name, and recently on Twitter, somebody over there decided it was a good idea to do a lot of DMCA takedowns on any image content relating to mainly One Piece. Other people have said Black Clover as well. And, oh gosh, I forget what the other manga was called, but people were seeing those series getting like images taken down, whether it be fan art of the series or GIFs that are on Twitter itself from official accounts like the One Piece accounts and all that. We're seeing those posts get taken down, accounts potentially being removed, and all that. I didn't look deep enough to see what the cause was, but this is just, to me, it just screams old Japanese men still not understanding the internet kind of thing. Same thing with like how Nintendo deals with stuff like that. Yeah, it's always, I mean, it is a tricky thing when it comes to this stuff. I know even in the con scene out here, big companies like that will kind of do the same thing. I remember I went to one booth, and they had to take down, I forget which series, but they had to take down their work from there, saying like, "Hey, you got to take these down." And even though it's their right to sell the fan art, they're just like, yeah, good luck, buddy. You're not selling those out here. And that always sucks to see that kind of thing happen. I don't know, I just think like the internet's been around for so long, and you'd think they'd be more or less okay with some stuff. On the One Piece end, I kind of understood because Chapter 1000 is out, right? And that was a pretty big deal. And I know a lot of people were worried about uploading the early scanlations anywhere because they were getting taken down pretty quick.
It sucks.
I feel like the DMCA stuff has really hit full force for the last 2, 3 months. I mean, in different aspects.
Yeah.
Like we get the music, now we got the scans, which I mean, the scans have been there for as long as I can remember. From as long as I've started reading anime, the scans have been there, but it's like now it's not even just a slap on the wrist anymore. It's like, dude, we gonna take you, you know. I mean, I can see why, but it is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially the fan art stuff, because social media is the big push for a lot of artists. And just to have this happen, it is frustrating. It's just, it doesn't make sense. They just need to learn, I guess. I don't know. Like, unless it was just one of those I'm pretty sure that's what it was, just a blind thing of like, okay, just take anything off because it might be related to spoilers for the big deal that is Chapter 1000 for One Piece, and whatever, I guess something big is going on in Black Clover. I haven't caught up yet. And whatever the third series was, so yeah, I hope that's it. I haven't been seeing any other stuff with Shueisha. I think they've kind of calmed down with the takedowns as of today. Oh, somebody has in-depth thing right here. Let's see. Oh, well, the thing in bold is things don't add up, so this is a whole list here. All right. Oh, I see. This guy gave me the TLDR version, so I guess it wasn't Shueisha doing it, but it was somebody doing it under Shueisha's behalf kind of situation.
It was a PI, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is just what usually happens. Like, this is a big thing in YouTube as well. A lot of people will get their content flagged from third party that will either do it behalf on the main companies, or they'll just do it and then tell the bigger companies, hey, we did this for you already. And that's how they try to make their money. But this guy, he's just being an ass and just doing this on his behalf. Okay. Yeah. There's been some good memes coming out of it, though, here and there. So I think that's good. Like, some people are having fun with it. Oh, Dragon Ball was the other one being taken down, yeah. So, on that note, I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and wrap up this episode. I will be back on the streaming grind. I'm going to take a look at the Pathless. That's the game from the Abzu team. And I got it on when it got released physical. And I just haven't had the time to check it out, but I'm going to check it out soon on stream. So that'll be at twitch.tv/Negator7. And I know Jerry is still streaming Jack 2 at the moment, as well as Dark Souls. He's having some complications, but he's going to get back up on stream soon, hopefully. And you can follow him at Jerry Omega on Twitch. And then, Adam, you're also on the streaming grind still.
Yep. Yeah, so I think weekends are better for me just because of work during the week, but I should be finishing up Bugsnax pretty soon. You can check out the VODs for that, and then I'll be doing a full Kingdom Hearts run.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, everybody knows. It's no surprise how big of a Kingdom Hearts fan I am. So I think what I'm gonna do is every game. I think I'm just gonna do zero EXP, base equipment, and run through the whole game, no items. When I get to Kingdom Hearts
You're
3,
you're not
take up.
gonna do that. You're not gonna do that.
Oh, dude, yeah, I no, dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then there's a trophy for Chain of Memories where you have to beat the game in one sitting. I'm gonna
you,
need like
you
12 bottles of Fit
you
Vine.
can't,
Just
dude. You can't. You can't.
oh, just wait, just wait.
How come? Just no. Look, someone on the achievement, the trophy list team making those trophies thought that was a fucking good idea. When they
Oh,
know
dude,
they
I
probably
know.
didn't even play the game. They
Oh,
probably
dude, I
didn't even
know.
play the game, and that's why
And
they thought.
exactly. And then see, to me, it's not Chain of Memories that's the problem. It's going through Dream Drop Distance again. That's gonna be the problem for me because
Dream
that's
Drop
gonna
Distance. Oh my god, that. Oh, I just remembered PTSD.
dude, because
PTSD.
it's gonna be a fun time. So I'll be doing Kingdom Hearts run after I finish Bugsnax. I might break it up with some other games, but we'll see when we get to that point.
Look,
But
look,
yeah,
look forward to that, gamers.
yeah, it's gonna be a
Heck
lot
yeah,
of
man.
it's gonna be a lot of Jerry angry gamer energy for sure, 100%. But that'll be twitch.tv/Bam Adam BAAM Adam. Oh, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to go through and be.
Heck yeah. Hey, me neither, man. I'll watch it with you while I'm playing the Kingdom Hearts games at the same
Dude,
time.
let's do
go.
it, man.
Oh yeah.
Just you can switch out your items. Don't do zero EXP like I will.
Okay. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Heck no.
No,
It's
dude,
been too long since I played
dude,
those games.
dude, you can enjoy the game. I'm gonna go in and frustrate myself to the end of time.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, so again, me, it's Pathless is what I'm going to focus on right now. Yakuza again on Fridays. It'll be Travis Strikes again right after for this month. And then next month, I think it's just going to be all Neo because the remasters will be out. And I want to see what's going on with those. So that's all going to be a good time. And for the podcast stuff, manga reviews as usual every Wednesday. And Marvel Talk is back. We're back from our good break, and we go in depth about season 2 of Mando and Wonder Woman 84. Check it out. And then the Webtoons episode dropped on Friday, so we have that out as well. And I don't know if you're caught up for Lookism, Adam, but it's really good right now.
I need to, dude. I've been away from a lot of the manhwas for the past like 2 months, so I have a lot of content to catch up on. I think after seeing that Tower was delayed again, I was like, I'm okay, dude. But I do, I do want to catch up on Lookism. I do need to see where you guys are at on God of High School because where I left off at, I was ready to read some more.
Yeah, we're pretty up there in the chapters, so you got a lot of good content coming your way when you're catching up, man.
Oh, dude, good, because I think I left off at like 220s.
Oh yeah, it was a good while ago. And then Jake Kim's almost over. As of this recording, the second to last chapter is out, so next week the epilogue will be out.
Oh hell yeah, sweet.
Yeah, so it's actually a perfect time to catch up to Lookism as well. Yeah, later in the month, of course, BFM will be out, so stay tuned for that. We'll let you know in future episodes when it's out.
Yes, sir. We took a little short break. Some life stuff was going on, but we will be back hitting full force 2021.
Sounds good, big dog. And, of course, you can follow us on social media at Unverse Podcast, and that's where we'll let you know when those episodes drop. And then, again, you can send an email at unversepodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments. We'll love to talk about it on the next episode. So thanks, guys, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Sit alone by myself, ask myself, do I do this and lie by myself? The mess I made, nobody seemed to notice. If the words stay ugly, they don't show worth it. Theoretical inside my mind, wait until night to take action and strike. And day after day, tell myself it's a lie, but we both know inside that the feeling is mine. And outside my Cause I'm so beside myself, or I was. I don't even know me quite like myself. Keeping quiet low-key, I've been lying by my health. But if nobody ever asks, it ain't really mine or a lie to tell. Do I ever find or have I fell in the ways I wish and wish them didn't come in middles like an intermission stuck inside myself. The butterfly dies through suicide in the mind itself. Yo, but he got the kind of rhymes to shoot to. Let off a few if he in the mood with the deuce. Playing I ain't truthful, my mind still is neutral. But I'm falling in just to say that I can swoop through. Switch the hoops with the boots, got the same on it. Keep it loose, not the juice, but he sway on it. In his dreams, no price, never pay on it. Don't achieve shit on the mind which he slave from it. Of the relay, delay the feeling. Tin is slaved in the free play, the bass disappears in the space. Lose my face in the eyes again. Reflections not alive, but Leviathan instead. It's hard to say.